Okay friends, so I got fired from my job this week and I'm definitely coping well. I'm going to a pink party. There's more pink actually. There's this pink, this pink in case I get cold. I made a decision recently and it's a scary decision, but it's just a decision. About 6 months ago, I had 2 part-time jobs. I lost one part-time job that was just slightly more hours than the other one. And so I took on more hours at the first job, which is me working in a theatre. And I was able to make just enough money up until they hired new people. And then we had to continue to share our hours with everyone. And me having more hours, I always knew it was going to be temporary. Once the hours decreased back to normal, which was part-time, I've had maybe 3 or 4 months of being able to earn just a little bit of money as a freelancer, as a freelance performing artist doing small gigs. And it's really scary because none of the jobs are connected, none of the jobs are linear, none of them are more than 3 days at a time. And 3 days is a really good one because most of them are just 1 day. But I love being a creative and it makes more sense for me to aim to get those creative jobs rather than choosing the safe option. And all of this came up because I got a job interview the other day and they were like, "We love you, we would love for you to have a trial shift." And I was like, yes. I ended the interview feeling like, yes, I've got a job, that's awesome. Obviously you have to go to this trial shift and then get hired from the trial shift, but I know that I can. So after I had the thought that I know that I can, I then started to think, do I want to? The part-time job that I have now is a lot of fun because it's in a theatre, and of course there are going to be weeks where there's less people in the building or there's not a show on, so things can get quiet for sure. But when there are things that are happening, the things that are happening are creative, so it makes sense. I want to stay there, and then I want to dedicate more time to being freelance. Live and direct from the club. We all fail. We all freelance. Which is scary, but I'm finally brave enough. And I guess because I know that if something happens, I can just again, look for a job, find a second part-time job and be able to pay for the things that I need, like rent and food and running water and travel and meals out and people's birthdays and adventures and holidays and just general life. So it's scary, but it's just an adventure that I'm going to dedicate myself to and see how far I can get, because I have more resources than I use. As an actor, I have an agent, and as a model, I have an agent, and so I've been training myself in the background so that when I have an audition, I'm better every time that I audition, so that I'm more likely to get jobs. And of course, I always rearrange my work when I get a job because this is what I want to do and this is the direction that I want to go in. However, sometimes when you're an unsigned artist, the goal is I want to get signed, I want to get signed, I want to get signed, I want to get signed. Then you get signed and maybe move differently. Like I said, I'm not complacent, I'm active, I'm training myself in all of my art mediums, but am I looking for work for myself? Admittedly, I have not been. I've been looking for classes for myself. I've been looking for workshops where I meet people for myself. I've been looking for events for myself, but I've not been looking for those smaller, lower paid, one-off day jobs that could accumulate and give me the money that I need to do all the aforementioned things. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna keep you updated. I'm gonna risk it. I think I will be happier. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I have a theatre audition in 5 minutes. I am more excited than nervous, mainly because I spent most of yesterday preparing, pretty much all of yesterday, because I got the email yesterday and they were like, "Hey, you have an audition tomorrow." So I thought, cool, the day is cancelled, I'm only doing this. I was kind of up until 1:30, and that's not because I got the audition email late, but it's because it takes long to read a whole script, it takes long to rehearse, learn lines, and then figure out how you're going to perform it. Watch me. It's 1 a.m. In my absolutely humble, in my absolutely non-biased opinion, I do believe I deserve a recall. I do. I think I should get recalled for this role. I think it went well. Maybe I did too much by telling them I'm non-binary, since the part is non-binary, but I'm like, come on, it's me. I think it went well. We shall see. Once again, I must point out that I worked myself up for 20 hours yesterday to have an audition that lasted 20 minutes. So when I rehearsed last last night. I rehearsed it in 3 sections because I thought that it was 3 sections because it presents like 3 sections. And then I rehearsed it as one long piece because I didn't know what they were going to ask me to do. And you gotta be prepared for anything, which I was, so give me a recall, give me a recall. Now, if you know me, you'd know that this is the part where I'd say, hey, come back next week to find out what happens. But I think you know, and I know that this is the smiling, happy, oblivious face of a person that did not get a recall. However, I just had a thought. It's a 2-hander with a younger version of myself, and I just auditioned for the older version of the character. So they have to match us up physically. We have to look alike. Okay, I'm back to back myself real quick because when I was in that audition room and someone was just coming out and I was about to go in, that person said, hey, who are you auditioning for? Meaning, visually, you cannot tell the difference if I'm auditioning for the younger version or the older version. And the younger version of the character is in their mid-teens, which is too young for me, but in theatre it could work. And the older version of the character is in their mid-30s, which is too old for me, but in theatre it could work. So I understand why they saw me, and I'm going to tell myself that this is the reason why I didn't get a recall and not because I wasn't good enough. Okay, bye. I still should get a recall though. I'm on my way to an event, which is a JJXX store opening thing. My model agents got invited, so I'm going to go to the pub to meet my agents and some of the other models, and then we're going to head to the event. And it should be fun.